The Asante Development Fund is structured to raise up to $100 million. World growth today is no longer driven by OECD countries, but from emerging ones who are proactively taking steps to create attractive investment vehicles that tick the boxes of transparency, robust risk management structures, and bottom line, proven returns on investments. We may anchor investments for infrastructure in transport, communications, water, energy, as well as agriculture, all through to private sector development and in particular SME. We would want to be the go-to investor for patient capital in the region. We're talking equity, quasi-equity, debt guarantees, and more. The region is the third largest of Ghana's administrative regions by area, comprising some 11% of landmass. It is home to over 5 million people, which is approximately 20% of the national population. The population is set to increase by some 3 million people by 2035, which represents an 82% increase. And majority of these people are expected to be city dwellers, largely centered around the greater Kumasi area. Ultimately, this creates challenges and opportunities that is set to drive investment growth, jobs, and development. Ghana currently ranks second in terms of size of agri-tech ecosystems in West Africa and third place in Africa. There is a huge gap as far as access to sophisticated production technologies is concerned. It is a constraint for the establishment of processing facilities within agro-processing sectors. Sectors that use relatively simple production techniques, such as fruit juice production, potentially represent an opportunity for Ghanaian-based businesses to move further down the value chain, only if issues around efficiency and security of supply can be addressed. The fund would seek to invest growth capital in growing businesses that improve agricultural productivity, nutrition, health, sustainability, and supply chain efficiency. We're talking investments in businesses from those involved in agricultural chemicals, equipment and infrastructure, agricultural commodities and food, biofuels, and all through to those who are into crop sciences, farmland, and forestry. We're in effect looking at how best we can optimize opportunities across the entire value chain, upstream farming through to downstream processing. In many ways, healthcare exemplifies the fund's belief that private equity funds in emerging markets provide investors the opportunity for oversized returns as well as positive social impact. Demand for healthcare products and services have grown faster than the country's overall economic activity, and the needs of consumers have outstripped the capacity of only public sector options. Many governments, faced with budgetary pressures and preoccupied with ensuring macroeconomic stability in a volatile global landscape, have recognized the need for increased private investment in the sector. It is therefore no surprise that healthcare, private equity investment activity in emerging markets broadly has reached the highest levels ever recorded. Yet, delivering on the promise of healthcare in emerging markets requires not just an opportunistic mindset, but patience, creativity, and operational insight into what is ultimately a very large and complex sector. In light of Ghana's economic growth and changes to our demographics, the impact on our healthcare cannot be overemphasized. Spending has gone up remarkably and is mostly supported by sizable donor programs. At the same time, government legislation has ensured that some of the most commonly used drugs are manufactured within Ghana. The fact that government continuously reviews and expands the list of drugs manufactured locally reinforces the impression of permanency around these manufacturing restrictions. Based on this key market dynamics, investment in pharmaceutical manufacturing appears to be potential opportunity and one that favors Kumasi, particularly given its access to a ready pool of pharmacologically trained staff and its central location within the country, which enables it to act as a logistics hub for both the Ghanaian market and for accessing neighboring countries' markets. Diagnostics and imaging is another area for investment consideration. The need for an effective diagnosis of diseases is key to ensuring the provision of an efficient healthcare service. Only a few centers in this region house critical facilities, from MRI machines to other high-tech medical facilities. The fund would also seek to commit by anchoring investments in key infrastructure projects that ultimately benefit Asante. Some prominent ones including the Buankra Inland Port, which is strategically located just south of Kumasi and serviced by the Eastern Rail Link and the primary expressways. And Inland Port would increase freight capacity from the north and central regions of Ghana to the seaports of Tema and Takoradi, as well as cross-border transits to Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger. Also, New Kumasi International Airport. We're aware of a new regional hub airport within easy reach of the greater Kumasi city region, which will increase passenger and freight capacity to international and regional markets and be supported by advanced logistics and industrial facilities. We're also aware of the consideration for a new city which will be home to about 400,000 people in the northwest of Kumasi, in the Kwaman area. The city will set standards in smart, sustainable, connected urban development for Africa and will help meet the projected 3 million increase in the region's population over the next 17 years. The fund may also initiate other infrastructure projects across commercial real estate, communications, some of which may require partnering with other investment vehicles to close. So we're looking at a sector agnostic portfolio of SMEs held over 5 to 7 years. Investment types, as already mentioned, would range from equity, quasi-equity, and debt instruments. Deal ticket sizes will range from 1 million to 10 million US dollars. And 50% of the entire investment portfolios would directly be invested in businesses within the Asante region. Other consideration would, of course, be given for projects and opportunities that also do have direct or indirect benefits to Asante. We would also utilize our access to a pool of experienced Asante professionals and business leaders. Job creation is key. Import substitution and export-ready businesses lie at the core of our strategy. The Asante Development Fund will be domiciled in the Ashanti region of Ghana as a 10-year fund and raise a permanent equity of 100 million from Ghanaian entrepreneurs, corporates, international impact investors, and other potential capital investors. The Asante Kingdom will anchor the fund with a minimum commitment of $10 million. Target investment, 100 million, maximum 150. We're looking at a first close of 30 million within the first quarter of the year 2020. We're very excited about this. Thank you for coming out, and we're really looking forward to getting all of Asante on board this. We believe it would contribute immensely to our development. APC, Kronkron.